Hey everyone, welcome to another diversified semantic layer, visible layer episode, and my name is Josh Fletcher, and I'm here today to discuss SAP's Analytic Bundles. So you can see here on my screen that I've got up that Eric, Jayne, and Greg, the other guys in diversified semantic layer, recently did an interview with Jayne Landry out of Vancouver, and Jayne focuses on providing analytic bundles to business logic customers. And these bundles focus on lots of different industries. They basically provide a quick start data model, universe, and reports and dashboards for a specific industry example. And what I wanted to do is do a bit of a technical deep dive about how these bundles are structured and how you can go about implementing them. So if you haven't had a chance to listen to that podcast, I definitely recommend it before you then look at using some of the analytic content samples. Here's a link that I'll put in the show notes, and here is where you can find all the analytic content samples. So you can see here, I shouldn't have clicked that. You can see here, this one's around telco and utility. That's what we're going to cover in our second episode. What other examples we have? IP rights analysis, healthcare quality management. The one that we're going to go through today, claims optimization for insurance. You can see there was about a 30 meg download. The great thing is there's also walkthrough demos of the actual solution. It shows you the dashboards walking through them. The fantastic thing about these analytic bundles is that they're free for any business objects customer to use. You need to be running on BI4 because that's what the technology is being used to build the examples on. But as long as you're running BI4, it doesn't matter what licensing you're on for business objects, you have access to these. Some of the other bundles, such as the one we're going to cover next episode, this Analytics Data Model Starter Pack, that's actually using Sybase Power Designer and has a complete data model you publish from Power Designer into IQ or HANA. So the requirements for some of these might include HANA or IQ, but several of them, like the claims insurance optimization one that we're going to cover today, just requires BI4. So what I've done is downloaded that zip file. So let's just go to the desktop, and here we have a folder here, and this is what's actually in the zip file. So you can see there's there's an LCM beer file we can load in through promotion management. There's also a ton of SQL Server scripts, and that's the database that we're going to use as a start. And here's a walkthrough PDF file for how to install this analytic bundle. So let's just skip to the good bit. Here's what's included in the LCM beer file. 13 Webby reports, 6 dashboards, UNX universe, so that's built using the information design tool, not Universe Designer, and a BI workspace that references those dashboards. Here's our minimum requirements. You can see it's running on BI4, dashboards 2008 Service Pack 3, and we need SQL Server 2008 to load the sample database. Here's how we go about deploying the sample content. Basically, we just have a create table script to run on our clock demo database. So we have to create that database, then run that script to create tables, a second script to create views, and then we've got 30 insert scripts. So let's just have a look at what that looks like in SQL Server. So here's my clock demo database. I ran the first script which set up these tables. You can see we've got some admin tables here. We've got quite a few dimension tables, and then we've got 6 fact tables. The biggest one by far is this litigation by month table here. Just a word of warning, when I went through actually, what you can see here, the actual full size is about 150 meg database, so it's not insignificant. In that fact table, we've got about 250,000 records. So if we just go back to our scripts file, you can see here, they're all pretty small except for dim time, meg, and the fact tables, this one in particular, as I said, the litigation month, 83 meg. I actually had to break that into 4 insert statements to get it to load. Your DBAs might be able to do that a bit better. But anyway, after I'd ran all of those, if we have a look, we can see, let's just have a look at the top 1,000 rows out of this table. Here's our data set that's been loaded in into our SQL Server. So once we've done that, let's just refer back to our PDF file. We've got the database set up. You can see here, once the database is loaded, the relational connection needs to be set, updated, and pointed to the sample clock database. Or actually, before we can do that, we need to run the import of the LCM beer file. So you would do step 5 first, and then update the connection. If we just switch over to our central management console, what we would do is go into our promotion management area. And you can see I've already run this through, but what you would do is import the LCM beer file by choosing that. And that will then give you a default job. So let's have a look at this, the settings of this job. And you can see here we get this BAS clock accelerator. We get a universe in this folder called BAS clock universe. And then we get in this analytic folder, we get an insurance folder. Within that is our dashboards and reports. And if I just expand that a little bit further, here's our Webby reports and our dashboards and the BI workspace. Okay, so let's just come back out. You can see I just ran that this morning and imported that. What does that look like in our folder structure? You can see here's my business objects analytic applications, insurance. So those all that content has been imported. So once I import that LCM beer file back to our walkthrough, what we then have to do is update the relational connection. So let's open up the information design tool. You can see here is I've retrieved it from my repository into my local project. Once I did that, I then came in here and I had to open that connection from the server. We would then edit that, and so I just had to change the server name. I wouldn't recommend changing the database name. I did try that and then it broke everything because it actually references the database name in the data foundation. So to save myself some time, I just set it back to that, and to make it easy to implement, I would just set your database name to that and then look at changing it later on. But once you've done that, updated your server name, you can see there it's successful. Let's take a look at the data foundation. So you can see here's our main fact tables, our dimension tables. Let's just have a look at this dimension, for instance. Show some table values. You can see they're available there. And I found that when I opened up the business layer, I had to change the data foundation to point to that data foundation before it would actually fully work, and then republish this universe. So you would want to do that. But you can see here, here's all of our dimension objects for the org unit, the line of business. In terms of key figures or measures there, we can see we have some executive KPI measures. For litigation, we have our litigation. So quite an extensive universe you can see here. And so if you're in the insurance business, this provides a great starting point for a data warehouse, which we'll talk about a little bit later. So anyway, I would then go through and publish this universe. And once I've done that, I'm now ready to actually start to use my demo content. So here I am in the BI Launchpad. Let's look at some reports first. So let's try the litigation type results. All the reports are set to refresh on demand. So you can see here it's refreshing, and there's my data set there. And let's go to Region East. And I can see all that information is available there for me. Let's try a different one. This one. So let's refresh that data set for me there too. So there's the sample reports. Let's have a look at some of the sample dashboards. You can open them up individually, but what I recommend is using the BI workspace. And this is really where we can see kind of that data model, the universe, and all the reports and KPIs coming together. So what this is doing is loading the executive dashboard in this frame. Sorry, I don't know what that is from. You can see it's still loaded all the data, so I'm not sure what that is from, but there's some what if analysis here, some hotspots, monthly KPIs, and some measures. And you can see here when we select different measures that they load. A lot of guides here, or sorry, links. And then also, if we choose one of these reports, we can click Get Report, and that will then call the Webby report for us in a separate tab. As you can see here. Let's just go back to our BI Launchpad. go through the financial tab. And again, you can see here is our dashboard for finance. And again, we can choose the different KPIs and it will update these charts for us. So the walkthrough that I talked about a little bit earlier, which is available here on this same link, I'll actually give you a full walkthrough of all the different parts of the dashboard. So I'd recommend going through that. But that's now the analytic bundle that's provided out of the box. So you can see that we've got quite an extensive universe with a reasonably large sample data set. We've also got 13 reports and 6 dashboards that we can use. What can we do beyond that? Well, some examples would be taking that sample data set and extending it with the likes of Explorer, which would be quite simple. You can see the universe. The universe is quite easy to work with in terms of your dimensions and the quite extensive amount of measures. You can see there for executive, for instance, all the different KPIs. So you could maybe look at some of the reports and how they're structured, pick a subject area, because you can see there's 6 of them in here related to insurance claims, and then build an Explorer data set on top of that. The other example would be then, how could you actually extend this to actually use it in production? All these dimensions would be pretty similar across multiple insurance organisations. So have you thought about using data services to actually load your own data into these dimensions and then replace the transactions in the fact tables with your own transactions as well? That way, you've actually got the existing reports and dashboards that will continue to work, but they're refreshed straight off of that universe, which is based on this data set. What you could then do is actually start to pull your own production data into those pre-built reports and dashboards. So there's just a quick walkthrough of what's possible with SAP's analytic bundles. As I said, we're going to be covering a second example in the next episode, which is going to focus on this analytics data model starter pack for telecom and utility, which is much more of a data warehouse for IQ or for HANA. So join us next time, and until then, take care.
This podcast is hosted and sponsored by EV Technologies. Visit us online at SaveTheCMS.com.
DSLayer!